Okay, we've got a good crowd. Looks like we've got about 25 people on, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hope everyone has been doing great since we met last. We are pulling up the agenda here. Put my phone on mute. All right, and everyone should have received the minutes from our February 2nd meeting. So if we can, I will take a motion to approve those minutes.
This is Damien. I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Yes, Dwayne Mitchell, I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, any edits needed? I don't think I saw anything in particular. If not, then all those in favor of accepting the February 2nd minutes, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. The minutes are approved. Next is we'll have the Georgia Trauma Commission update from Liz.
I do not see her on just yet. I know she may be on her way to a conference.
Okay. Then we will keep trucking along and she might join us a little later on in the meeting, but we've got two items of new business to discuss, new-ish, kind of, sort of. One of them is for RMOC planning. I did have Gabby send out a communication asking for volunteers. If you all recall, of course, at the last meeting, we did take a brief real-time survey and got lots of good feedback. And I was able to attend the trauma medical directors meeting on February the 19th and share some of that feedback. So wanted to give you all a little bit of update on the discussion that happened at that trauma medical director committee meeting. Dr. Matthew Vassy, who is kind of running the show in terms of the RMOC preparations, he did review an RMOC deck that was provided by the ACS, and it was tons and tons of slides. So it was a very high slides. So it was a very high level review, but it went over the challenges across the United States. What is RMOC, the National Trauma and Emergency Preparedness System, and some potential scalability and goals. And then we proceeded to have a discussion with various members, and everybody, of course, understands and agrees that we're still very much in the early stages. So it's difficult to kind of identify exactly what questions we should be asking. But the major concerns were the same things that we had come up with here in our administrators meeting, just about bed availability, system capacity, because we know that many of our hospitals operate pretty much at the top of their capacity all the time. Um, Discussed, the same concerns that we had in terms of patient placement during large scale disasters, redistributing non-trauma patients to free capacity at trauma centers, not only considerations around patient volume, but also acuity, and then determining which facilities would manage those medium acuity patients if the trauma centers became overwhelmed with high acuity patients. So that's probably further into the weeds than we should have gotten. But once you start talking, you just kind of come across with lots of things. At the end of the day, what was determined was that we wanted to establish a cross-committee work group between the trauma medical directors and the trauma administrators to evaluate various RMOC models, assess operational needs, and develop recommendations for a statewide RMOC framework for Georgia. And so, therefore, I sent out the survey in regards to those that are interested in serving on this work group. And so we did get 5 people who responded. I'm not sure if we will take all 5 of them, but I will, or all 5 of you all. And the names that I got, just so we can confirm, I got Becky Wielder, sorry if I'm butchering your name, Pam Vanderberg, Paula Butts, Raina Roberts, and Walter Wiley. So those are the 5 responses that we received. And I think we got a good cross section of roles and responsibilities. And again, I'm not sure, we don't want this work group to be too large, but we do want it to be big enough to, of course, have various perspectives across the state. So I'm going to forward these names to Dr. Vassy, and he will determine if all or some of them, will formulate this work group. In terms of, if he says, 5 is kind of more than I, kind of want, and if it's only a couple, then I'm going to request that Becky Wilder and Paula Butts be at least at the top of that list, just because those are, you two kind of serve some roles outside of just the trauma world. The other 3 individuals, while I appreciate your skill sets, are very focused on trauma services. And I think from an administrative standpoint, we want to make sure that we are looking bigger than just trauma services, because when it comes to something that's a large scale disaster, we're really going to have to think about how are the rest or the totality of how our hospitals are functioning, inclusive of trauma, but certainly not limited to that, because of course we will have all the other patients in our facilities to also be concerned about. So that's what I'm going to be forwarding to Dr. Vassy, and he will, review that and get back with me in terms of saying, yep, we'll take all 5 or we'll only take a couple. And so more to come on that, but just wanted to let you know where we landed, and thank you all for your interest in participating. Of course, I don't yet know any, particular cadence of meetings. Again, this is all very early on, but I think we're in a good place for the state to begin to look at this. As we all know, that the political climate is continuing to be what it is. And even for those that, if we're not able to use all 5, or if there are others that are interested but didn't necessarily want to work, in that work group, I'm certain that there will be other opportunities for you all to engage in this body of work as we get further and further in the planning stages. As other opportunities come up, I will make sure that you all stay well informed, and we will, circle back for any future needs that may align with your skill sets. Does anyone have questions or comments?
No,
Rebecca, you're muted if you were.
yes, I got it. So I'm going to fix that.
Okay, well, Becky is fixing her microphone. We'll circle back with you for those comments. The next thing that we wanted to, okay, she's going to log off and log back on. Gotcha. Next item, or let's see, was Liz able to join yet? Just want to circle back if she's on.
I have not seen her join.
All right, then we'll keep going. Next item of business is committee vice chair. So at the last meeting, we discussed the need for additional support in terms of all of the committees. So not just the administrators committee, but I think across the Georgia Trauma Commission, the determination has been made that each committee should have a vice chairman to help assist the chairperson. And I'm not going to read all those bullet points there. They were sent out. But we had some discussion last time, and I asked for any volunteers that would be willing to serve in this role. We did get 2 people who came forward, and one of those 2, and I asked Gabby, just in full transparency, I'm for those of you that don't know me, I'm very much transparent and shoot from the hip. So I did ask Gabby to check and you know, give me a little background about the two individuals that came forward. I wanted to know about their participation in the Trauma Commission meetings, and of course, you know, what hospital system or facility they're from, just so we can all be aware. We want someone who is going to, of course, you know, be able to fulfill the duties of the job. Not that it should be very taxing, but certainly want someone who's willing to participate and support the chair, be it me or whomever comes after me. This is a 3-year term. And so at this point, we really have one person, but we would still need to do an official vote. And since it's just the one person, we're just going to have a vote here in real time. I don't think we're going to have an actual ballot per se, but and that person, Gabby, help me out here. Sorry, I thought
I have the brief bio.
Okay, perfect.
Submitted.
So this is Dr. Jason Smith. He's a family physician and healthcare executive with over 20 years of experience and more than a decade of service as chief medical officer. He's currently chief medical officer at Phoebe Putney Memorial Hospital, where he leads their efforts to improve quality, safety, patient experience, and operational performance. And you see the rest of his brief bio there. Again, I'm not going to read it out to you. He's relatively new to this committee, but in his short time in, you know, fulfilling the administrative role for this committee, he has been an attendee of the various meetings. He's already registered for our upcoming GQIP meeting. So I appreciate that. And I think he is a fine candidate for vice chair. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding Dr. Smith? Dr. Smith, are you on the call?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Well, welcome and thank you for volunteering.
Thank you. I've been here at Phoebe for it'll be 3 years in June. Have been working with the trauma team here since that time. We got our trauma state designation back 2 years ago, and we're getting our ACS first survey in August 3rd and 4th. So we're excited and excited about the future of trauma here in Southwest Georgia.
Excellent. We are excited for you all and that journey that you're on. All right, so I guess we will take, in terms of the nomination, I mean, it's a self-nomination, so I don't know. Gabby, help me. Do we need to have a motion and a second?
I'll put this forward. This is Damian Scott. I'll put it forward as a motion that we make Dr. Jason Smith, the vice chair.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second this.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing no discussion, all in favor of Dr. Jason Smith as vice chair, please affirm by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, I think the ayes have it. Welcome, Dr. Smith. Glad to have you. I will be in touch with you offline in regards to next steps, but looking forward to working with you. All right, one last shout out for Liz or anyone else that has any updates from the Georgia Trauma Commission or otherwise. Pretty short meeting for us this morning, if not.
I just want to remind everybody that we do have the meetings coming up in August. So the GQuip summer meeting will be Friday, August 21st, and registration is required. It will be part of the FY 2027 performance-based pay for senior executives. And then we have the committee meeting that will be happening in person the day before the GQuip meeting, just so that it's on everybody's radar.
Hey, Gabby, I went to book a room the other day and it looks like the room block is full. Are we expecting any other space to be added to the room block?
I can check with Jekyll Island and see if they'll accommodate some more rooms, but thank you for letting me know. I'll check with them today.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Becky, were you able to rejoin? Was there any comment that you wanted to say?
Yes, I was able to. Thank you, and I apologize for the echo. My only comment was just from your perspective, how did you feel the temperature of the discussion was around the RMOCC, especially with the FIFA event, really, really close to happening, and we're really, clearly not going to have a structure in place. So did you just have a feel of how some folks were thinking and being prepared for the FIFA event?
Yeah, we didn't really discuss that because this meeting was back in February, so we weren't as close to that then as we are now. I think it's much, more on everyone's minds, but we didn't really put it in that perspective. It was much more of a, discussion around sort of, just thoughts about what ifs. I think, as far as FIFA event or any other event that happens between now and whenever we have, a better structure in place, we're really going to have to, do what we all do, stand up our incident commands and, work across the lines. So we didn't go into that level of detail about a specific, anything specific. Dr. Ashley did give us a good historical overview of kind of like the fits and starts that we have had with, they weren't RMOCs, but they functioned kind of sort of like RMOCs in the past. So that was good to hear in terms of it was the Trauma Communication Center, the TCC, and then the Georgia Communication Center. I think one of those had been in Forsyth at the city of Forsyth, not the county of Forsyth, at the Georgia Public Safety Training Center. So he kind of went through some of the historical things that we've tried in the past and how they didn't quite work. And it may be that now, we're just in a different time, in the state, and some things have happened since then that we may be able to not have to start from scratch and take some of the things that were good, about those systems and maybe be able to relaunch them in a different way. So we did have some discussion about that.
Great.
I don't know if
Thank
any of you
you.
on the call were
Yeah.
around when those things were in existence, but
Okay, thank you.
Other questions, comments? All right. Well, that's all the business that I have today. I will give you some time back. I'm sure nobody's going to turn that down. If you didn't sign in, Gabby's got the QR code. We'll hang on the line here for a few minutes. So please make sure you log yourself in to track your attendance. And I look forward to seeing everybody in August at the meeting. And of course, we do have a trauma commission meeting later on this month in May. So for those of you that attend those, look forward to that as well. But everybody else, have a great day and a great week.
Thank you.